Hello and welcome to episode 14 of The Story Pilgrim, Hyderabad, India Part 2. Now, if you haven't already listened to the previous episode, Part 1, stop listening immediately and have a listen. Go back! Have you gone? No? Okay, it's okay for you to stay. Thanks for coming back. I really do appreciate your company. Please, if you haven't already reviewed this podcast and rated it, and I'm specifically talking to you, Neil, please do it. It only takes a minute. It only takes a minute, girl. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get back to India. We're discovering the striking Golconda Fort. If you haven't Googled it, then please do. Have a look at the images. We're in the company of Naja, my expert guide, sharing his extensive knowledge of the area and country. We have scaled the fort and reached the top. The views were sensational, and we could get a great aspect of the entire fort.
Yeah, I don't want to go in playing. Yeah, it's just literally looking out from the west. It's just like forest, but that's an army garrison now. And we're coming down round now to the south side. Looking south, it's not a very clear day. I mean, it's clear, but it's hazy. There's a lot of fog this morning, and it's warm. I think we're about 29 degrees at the moment, but there is a nice cool breeze that blows through the windows. So we're over on the west side, looking out east now, so we can see the fort.
Look at the ruined palaces of the Golconda kings from here.
So would that be where they lived?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the place where they lived. And in the middle you can find one open area with a fountain. And that fountain ran with gravity force earlier. That is called as open air theatre.
Okay.
The dance and music programs for the entertainment of the royal family members.
Yeah.
So exactly right side of that open air theatre, that is known as Janana, the palace of queens. Left side of the open air theatre, that is called as Mardana, the palace of kings.
Okay.
So these palaces were built with 3 and 4 stories in those days. All the ground level areas were used as darbar halls, meeting halls, and judgment halls, barracks, soldiers' resting places. Then upper floors were used for the living of the family members.
Right. Yeah. Wow. We're walking down another set of stairs now on the east side. And we're going down towards the area where the royal family would have been living. And it's just a beautiful, expansive view. These steps are a little bit more steeper. But yeah, beautiful, expansive view of Hyderabad. And Hyderabad is quite a flat city. There are high rises, but not in a like financial city type of way. But there's lots of green as well, lots of forest trees, and yeah, it's very beautiful. Yeah, it's vast. It's so well preserved. There's a lot of it still standing, and it's solid. A solid structure. There's a lot of this walking past a wall here which clearly had windows in, and they've all been bricked up at some point, but the actual original structure is still there, with this lime mortar that's just, as Naja said, is very, very strong and lasts hundreds of years.
This is a part of Janana Palace Complex. Janana is the palace of queens. used to be covered with a rooftop,
Uh-huh.
and it is called as Royal Ladies Dressing Room.
Dressing room.
Dressing
Yeah.
room. There are many niches inside. Those might not be used to keep something over there. It
Yeah.
may be a part of architecture
Sure.
and ornamentation
Yeah.
with stucco plastering.
Yep.
And it is a bathtub or water tank.
Okay.
The artwork, dedication, and skill of the structure of Golconda is breathtaking. We came across another area with a clever sound design.
Yeah.
So in this area, it is meant for acoustic system, and these are called as whispering galleries. In this area, if you take opposites, these opposites are these opposites. If one stands in the corner by facing the corner and he speaks very slowly or whispers, the person who is at the opposite corner can hear that very clearly.
Okay.
You want to experience that?
Yeah.
Please go there and stand in the corner by
Facing the corner.
close to the corner.
Okay. Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear me? That's amazing. Yeah, you're on the other side of the room. That's amazing. That's really cool. We're probably about, I don't know, 50 feet from each other. That's really clever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly why these were built, but some historians say that if someone stands somewhere here and talks, the king could hear that from his bed chamber.
Right.
So that's why there is a popular saying here.
Wow.
Do not talk loudly, walls may have ears.
Yeah, exactly.
But the ground level areas are always used for meeting halls, darbar halls, judgment halls, soldiers' barracks, etc.
Okay.
This area, particular area with acoustic system there, used as a Dad Mahal. Dad Mahal is nothing but the judgment hall,
Okay.
final judgment hall. So in those days, the severe punishments were decapitating head,
That's pretty severe.
pretty severe, and hanging,
Yeah.
poisoning,
Poisoning.
and using elephants to crush them.
Okay.
These are
What type of thing would you have to do to get crushed by an elephant?
by an elephant to crush
Like
to crush
stealing or?
No. For stealing,
Yeah.
And breaching.
Okay.
Spying.
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 What happens if you spilt a drink on the king? Would you get decapitated head?
May not be.
But was there a judge?
Yeah. So there are judges. There is a judging system, but final judgment will be done by the king by discussing with other judges, etc.
Yeah.
Law ministers. So during the time of final judgment, the criminals they were put below to that roof, and king used to sit there.
Okay.
So this is the arch. Because of this arch, king could not see the criminal, and criminal could not see the king at the same time because of this arch. You can experience that.
Yeah.
The judgment hall and the information about the punishments had my imagination running wild. My head was spinning with all the fascinating facts and history Naja was supplying me with. Our tour of Golconda had come to an end, and it was time to head back into the hub of Hyderabad.
We are currently trying to find our taxi driver, and it's crazy. It's just a little roundabout, but there's just cars everywhere. Tuk-tuks, people, mopeds. There's loads of people. It's great. I love it. And Naga thinks he's found him, and then he hasn't found him. So we're going backwards and forwards. It's great. They all look the same as well. All of these cars. Do you not have to wear a crash helmet when you ride a motorbike?
That helmet?
Yeah.
Helmet is compulsory, or otherwise police will give ticket.
But everybody
It
not
is,
wear.
It is mandatory, but if you look at some of the people, they're not wearing.
Most of the people.
Most
There's only
of-
one. There's only one person with a helmet on.
But out of 100 accidents,
Yeah.
and 80 people will die because of head injuries.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why it is mandatory by the government.
But nobody does it.
Yes.
Wow.
In India we have rules,
But no.
there is no surveillance.
What would you describe the main differences between Hyderabad and Mumbai?
Okay, so Hyderabad is located in the center of South India. Away from the sea. Okay, but Mumbai is located on the seashore,
Yeah.
and it was conquered by Portuguese initially. And Mumbai. It's a mix of islands.
Yeah.
So the Portuguese gave that as a dowry when one of the princes of Portuguese king's family married the prince of England.
Yeah.
It was given. Then so islands, the gap in between the low-lying area of the sea, in between the islands was filled, and Mumbai was created.
Okay. Those are different spices.
That is a grocery shop.
Yeah. All very colourful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Mumbai was developed by the British. Then Hyderabad was founded by Muslims and ruled by the Muslims until its end.
Okay.
But Hyderabad King Nizam became one of the faithful elites of the British, and it became one of the princely states.
Right.
That's why, though there is no direct influence of British here, British controlled local rulers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mumbai is a business city because there is a big port, seaport.
Yeah. But Hyderabad, to me now, it feels more modern, and it feels. This is going to sound silly, but I feel like there's more potential in Hyderabad than in Mumbai.
Mumbai has got highest number of millionaires in India.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. And for Mumbai, actually, there is a south part is surrounded by sea.
Yeah.
In Mumbai.
Yeah.
Where if you go to that Taj Hotel,
Yeah.
and that side and this side, both sides, east and west, are surrounded by sea.
Yeah. But I seem to see more poverty in Mumbai.
Because of the it's a commercial city.
Yeah.
Because of the opportunities people get, and people migrate from different parts of India to that place.
So they're coming from all
And
over.
people live on platforms.
Yeah.
And people live in many, slum areas,
Sure.
slums.
Yeah.
And people just sleep in a small room where they can just sleep by stretching their legs, or sometimes even if it is not possible to stretch their legs.
Sure. Yeah.
And you don't see that kind of poverty. And we do have slums in Hyderabad, but we don't have many slums like Mumbai.
Not like that. No.
Mumbai is very congested with a lot of population, but Hyderabad has got its surrounding areas are developing nowadays.
It's quite
That's why it
spread
is
out.
expanding. You don't need to share the same area with lakhs of people or hundreds of people,
Sure.
thousands of people.
Yeah.
But there it is not possible. The western part is sea,
See. Yeah.
and even in southern part is also surrounded by sea.
Sure. That makes sense. Just went by a store. There's loads of little stores now. We're driving through Hyderabad. We're going to some tombs. Just drove over somebody's carpet, and we just went past an egg shop, and had hundreds of eggs outside. And just to make it more authentic, they had 2 chickens just walking around on top of the eggs. I think that was pretty cool. But there's all sorts of stalls out with selling bananas, greens, tomatoes, onions, mangoes. There's just everything along here, and then there's like an ironing shop, there's a tea point, lino, big kettle drums, there's everything. Look on the other side, there's like paneer, food, tyres, like garlands, clothes, washing powder. Oh, cold. It's just like you look straight out of the taxi and you just think he's not going to get through that, and he does. Sugar cane, making some sort of drink. It's another just fascinating city. Tomatoes, there's just everything that you would want.
A shopper's delight. Everything you want, need, desire, right there next to each other. The driver was rushing through the small streets, avoiding everything that popped up or came straight at us. We made it to the Qutb Shahi Tombs, another incredible sight and another opportunity for Naja to impart his infinite knowledge.
Until 1799, British could not control over the southern part of India, because South India was ruled by one person who was a de facto ruler, who was commander-in-chief of the army of a Hindu kingdom. Became an independent and de facto ruler in 1762. That was the time for the British, who were expanding in southern parts of India, and naturally this person became an enemy to British. Then at that time you were waging wars with French in Europe, different wars. So naturally here also you became enemies. So British, supported by Hyderabad Nizam from southern part of India, that person who opposed British, he got support from French.
Of course.
So they waged 4 wars in between 1760 and 1799. In first 2 wars they were victorious against British with the help of French, and in third and fourth war they lost. In the fourth Carnatic War, which was held in the month of May 1799, that king, whose name is Tipu Sultan, he was killed in the battle at Srirangapatna, close to Mysore, close to Mysore and in between Bengaluru and Mysore. So after killing Tipu Sultan on 4th May 1799, British became masters of southern provinces, and they started exploring many such sites here. That's why many beautiful watercolor paintings which were made by Colonel Colin Mackenzie with the help of Indian and the British artists are available in British archives.
In the archives, sorry about that.
Then what happened in Third Anglo-Carnatic War, when British defeated him, he has got 7 sons. British forced him to surrender 2 of his sons as hostages.
Really?
So that, to avoid any further problem from him. Then what happened? He became more hostile after taking 2 of his sons as hostages. And within few years, he strengthened his army. And after that, he waged one more war. Unfortunately, he lost his life. And his family was, I think for many years after his death, his family was put under surveillance to avoid any further problem with them. Their family lives in Kolkata now. Their tombs are located at Srirangapatna, that is 16 kilometers from Mysore and about 120 kilometers from Bengaluru.
It's interesting how all of the history of the Glen, Golconda and these shrines here are around the 16th centuries, and how well preserved it is, but it's because of it's the founding of Hyderabad really as they know it today. So it's really going back to them as a community being able to say this is what we have to be thankful for. It's really interesting that there's a lot of emphasis placed on the foundation of the city, even though it's a city which is flourishing because of technology. they're very, very prideful of their beginning, really, as the city.
Tomb of the seventh and last king of
Is that a mango tree?
Which one?
This one?
No. This is banyan tree.
Does it have fruit? No.
There are which tree is this, Ria? Huts. Which tree is this? These,
Cool.
birds, they eat.
Yeah.
So when they drop excreta on the walls, the seeds will germinate
Right.
during rainy season.
Okay.
And you can see the beautiful tiles in the middle of the structure.
Yeah.
So all these tombs were, restored and renovated in 1912 and 13. But at that time they used cement at the place of stucco.
Right.
Cement life is just 60 to 80 years, and the stucco will remain for hundreds of years.
Right.
Then recently, Government of India, with the help of some funding agencies like Aga Khan Trust, Tata Trust, they started restoration in 2013 with the help of some international agencies.
Okay.
Still restoration is going on, and they are using the same material which they used in 16th and 17th centuries for the construction.
Wow. Are they going to completely restore it?
Yeah, they are just chipping out that cement also, which was introduced in the first quarter of 20th century, and filling that part with stucco.
Right. Okay.
So these two are the tombs of two royal physicians who died in the mid 17th century. Though these are small, they look very beautiful in terms of floral designs, geometrical designs, round medallions, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can take a closer picture of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very geometrical, very symmetrical.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can take a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. They are only small, but again, you can really see the intricacy and the sculpture and the little arches. It's very beautiful. It's 106 acres, this site of the shrines. There's a lot of them.
There are a lot of tombs on this site, of all shapes and sizes. Breathtaking. The grounds are well kept. Naja told me about a couple of trees that we were walking past.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. So this is tamarind tree. Tamarind is one of the spices. We use it every day in our curries. And this is soap nut tree.
Sorry, it's
soap nut.
Soap nut.
Soap nut, because nowadays we are using shampoos.
Yeah.
But around 20 years ago, we used to use soap nuts.
Okay.
After drying, we just half crush them.
Yeah.
We take a handful of them, put it in lukewarm water, leave it for 10 minutes. Then we squeeze to get the juice. We use that juice to wash our hair.
Wash your hair. Wow.
So these are collected normally by the tribes from the forest areas.
Yeah.
They sell them in the markets, and those are not that expensive.
Right. Yeah.
So natural.
Yeah.
So this way, there are two tombs belonging to two ladies, Taramati and Pramavati, two sisters. Taramati was a singer and Pramavati was a dancer. They became concubine wives to the sixth king Abdullah Qutb Shah. Mm-hmm. We can say concubines, or they may not be concubines because They have their burials inside of this.
Yeah.
And Hindu people, after their death, their dead bodies will be cremated and ashes will be immersed in holy rivers.
Okay.
But these two ladies are buried instead of cremation.
Right.
That means they were converted to Islam.
Right. Okay.
So these are the funerary mosques.
Okay. Okay, that's them. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of tombs
And here, the first one is the tomb of the first king,
Yep.
who became independent from their masters and founded Qutb Shahi Kingdom. Then the second one is his son who killed his father.
Right.
And this is a lady's tomb. And the tomb behind this is the third one, who ruled from 1550 to 1580.
Yeah.
And this is the fourth one, which is the biggest one built first time after 3 generations. And it is very interesting. When he built this tomb during his lifetime, he got one shadow tomb built at the first floor. It looks like a tombstone.
Yeah.
There is no dead body inside.
There's nothing.
So,
Okay.
symbolically.
Yeah.
So after his death, his dead body was buried exactly below to that at the ground level, 6 feet below to the ground level.
Okay.
So we see that original tomb first at the ground level, and we go to see that shadow or duplicate tomb at the first floor, where there is no dead body.
There's nothing.
And the whole structure was built for the burial of only one dead body.
Just one.
This is like Taj Mahal. At Taj Mahal also, at the crypt level, there are original dead bodies were buried.
Yeah.
At the first floor where you get to see that, those are just shadow tombs.
Just shadows, yeah. The light's not good.
So
It's like the Taj Mahal, except there are 23 of them. Astounding. I wanted to find out more about India and what Naja had experienced. He's travelled all over India via motorbike.
Okay.
there are 2 monsoons.
2.
First monsoon is from June to September. That is called as southwest monsoon.
Uh-huh.
And second monsoon is called as northeast monsoon. That is from October to November.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they're quite close together.
Yes, so we get around 60 to 65% of rains in India, in South India from the first monsoon,
From the first one.
and more than 30% of the rains from second monsoon.
Okay.
Yes. The taste of the people will change.
Really?
So the accent of the language will change,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the geography will change.
Sure.
And the way the people wear clothes,
Yeah.
that will change.
That will change as well. Yeah. That's and it is like you say.
It cannot be learned by reading the books.
No. Experiencing it is absolutely.
Pot carried on the head
Okay.
by wearing traditional saris, ornaments, jewelry, etc. They come with their families. They sacrifice goats, sheep, and country hens, etc. They keep food here, offer that as a goddess, as an offering to the goddess, etc. So, not only during festival time, every day, some families come from different areas of the state to worship this goddess.
What happens to all the sacrifices?
But that is not every day, but people do that.
Yeah.
People do that. They do that at the ground level.
Okay, so they won't do it up here.
No,
Not anymore.
space is very less. And it will be more of a discomfort.
It cannot be learned from the books. What a great truth from Naja. Yes, obviously we do learn from books, but effective visual learning is from experiencing. I truly am indebted to Naja for that wonderful tour, and I barely scratched the surface of getting to know Hyderabad, India. Not a place that I would probably put on even the top 10 of my places to visit, but I absolutely loved it, and it was completely worth it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please follow this podcast, share it with friends, and pop us a review and rate it. The Story Pilgrim was written and produced by Darren Hill. Original music by the amazing Anya Backer. Find us on all major social networks and say hello via our website. Until the next time, keep listening and buen camino.